Okay, I thought I'd just do a little strange happening on some stuff I did back in the trial and error days, and something I did probably about 6, 7 months ago also. And probably won't do it again, really won't. Initially, when I started all these videos, I'd put them on YouTube and then deleted them off and came to this channel. And I had this video out on the other channel and just haven't redone it, but something's occurred, so I thought I'd go ahead and redo it. For the strange happenings way back when I was like a teenager or so, and still doing all the trial and error, seeing what's possible, what's not possible, how to do and how not to do, that kind of thing. One of the things that happened dealt with almost like shifting reality. It's totally crazy bunk out there, so we're just going to call this totally insane and coincidence, and nothing's real about it. But it was interesting, so I thought I'd bring it up here anyway. But way back in my teenage years, I was watching television alone, and there was a report about an airline crash, and everybody died on it. And I'm still doing the trial and error phase at this time. I'm like, well, I haven't physically seen this. I wonder if I can shift it enough to where it didn't happen, to make this so it didn't happen. And so I kind of went out there and pushed and pushed and pushed and trying to shift reality and make myself believe that this didn't actually occur, that maybe something else happened, but this didn't actually occur. And so I pushed and pushed, and it was being reported on the news there for those few minutes when I initially saw it, and I tried pushing and tried changing it and everything else. And shortly after that, minutes, I don't know, it could have been 15 minutes later, it came on the news that that was an error in reporting, that there wasn't a plane crash at that time. It had actually occurred some years ago, and for some reason they got their reporting screwed up and were reporting on something that happened years ago. So from that, I gather that once something's reported and that, I couldn't change it. Once it's happened, I can't change it, but maybe I can shift it a little bit. So I don't know, it's delusional. And back in that time, it's like, well, it really was a coincidence. This is just one coincidence. So we'll go with that. It happened again some years later, another airplane crash. And I thought, well, let's try this again and try shifting it again. And I've already heard that this plane crash has occurred, but maybe I can shift it enough to maybe where it didn't happen this time, it happened some other time in the past or something like that, and that's what happened. Some minutes later they came on, oh, it was an error in reporting again, and it didn't actually occur right then, but it had occurred sometime in the past. They just got a hold of an old article and were reporting on it as if it was today, and it didn't happen today, it happened in the past. I'm like, well, that's odd. 2 out of 2 now for trying to shift things like this, and I ignored it after that. It was very hard and difficult. It required a lot of effort. If you want to call, like from the movie Dr. Sleep, if you want to call it The Shine, it required a whole lot to do that, to really shift things like that, just a whole lot. It's just almost not worth it because it had happened anyway, even though it was in the past. So I couldn't change it once it's reported. I couldn't change it. But I could shift it a little bit. And it took a lot. And I'm like, it's just not worth it. I'm crazy anyway, just go on with your life. Well, back when my brother-in-law died, it was 7, 8 months ago now, something like that. 6, 7, 8 months ago when my brother-in-law died. Sometime after that, my wife got his phone, and he had some text on his phone. And it dealt with financial stuff, and it really upset her. Because she wasn't going to get any money at all, not his 401k, not his savings, none of his insurance, nothing at all. He had put it in a month earlier to one of his friends who we've never met, actually. She's never even come to his house. They've never been to his house. Even the text in his phone, it was 4 times for the entire year. It's like, who is this person? But he had done it officially and signed his name off, and it was all done. And so it really upset her. And she asked if I could do something about that. She knows about my weirdness and everything, so she asked if I could do something about it. And I'm like, this is what Eddie wanted. You should leave it alone and just let it go. Is what he wanted. But she was really, really upset, and I said, okay, I'll try a little bit to do a little something and shift it a little bit. So I did and tried shifting a little bit. And the funny thing is, and it took a lot of effort. That's when I got all those kidney stones. I talked about those kidney stones in a past video, having a recent round of kidney stone that was very unpleasant. And a bowel blockage at the same time. that's happened immediately when I did that. All that happened right then when I pushed so hard, another cat, pushed so hard to change something. And what happened was it changed. It did shift a little bit. The text actually shifted. The black and white text on the phone changed. The brother-in-law's friend was going to get the bulk of it, and my wife was now going to get maybe some other part of it. So it did shift, kind of funny that way. And it was shifted just enough to make her happy, and that's all that was needed. Just, make her happy, and that's all that was needed, so that's what happened. I don't know that you could call that a coincidence when the black and white text shifted, but it did. And I'm bringing this up now because she just came into that money now. So now we've put it all in, not all, most of it, to our financial advisor person, maxed out our IRAs and contributions for 2019, 2020, and future years also. Put that money aside with them, and they'll add it in the future years to max it out for future years. And we just made sure to leave enough left over so she could get a new car, because our little Toyota Corolla hadn't had air conditioning for 4 years, and my truck was breaking down, having issues, and we were having car issues and needed a new car, and this money showed up. And so we went and test drove a car under a week ago, probably about 5 days ago. 5 days ago or so, 6 days ago, and she liked her car, and we wrote a check, and she drove it off the lot. And so she now has a brand new Toyota Camry 2020. So she liked the Toyota Camry 2020. So she drove it off the lot, fully paid for. And that's the only reason I'm bringing it up today is it finally came to fruition, is that changing on that part. But we don't have to go with that coincidence. I'm not going to do it again because it takes a lot of effort to do strange things like that, and it's so far out there and just ridiculously ridiculous. So that'll be the last time, because we don't want to go that far with anything. So just thought I'd bring it up. It's kind of funny, and my wife now has a new car, and our contributions to our IRAs and stuff are maxed out for the foreseeable future.